Hi there, Aquarius, and welcome back to Feathered Serpent Tarot for your full moon focus for June 2017. I just want to say thank you to everybody for sharing, liking, subscribing to my channel. This has been a new endeavor that my daughter and I have just started only a week ago, and we're having so much fun with it, coming up with ideas for what we can put on this channel. I'm also going to be traveling to Mexico soon to do some research into the triple goddess, the Mayan triple goddess Ixchel. In recent trips, I've had my curiosity piqued, and so I feel I need to follow it. So join me as I journal through my explorations of that, if that is something that you're interested in. But for today, we're just going to get straight to your full moon focus for June, and that's this weekend. So Friday to be exact. I have created two spreads. One is the Lenormand deck, which is not tarot, but it can sometimes provide some very interesting insight to any given story, or it can be a story that we can launch off of into reading the traditional tarot, which I have done into a 3-card spread, full moon focus, generally overall, an angle on relationships and an angle on your professional life. Plus, I've also pulled cards for the environment that's surrounding, both from the Klimt deck that I'm using and the Rider-Waite to clarify, to give as many dimensions to what this full means to you. This full moon is in Sagittarius, so that falls in your 11th house of friends, groups, and associations. So because it's Sagittarius too, it's like this is very complementary. Fire and air work really well together. Aquarius is all about people and humanitarian and fun, lightheartedness, all that kind of thing. So you're very much complemented. This would be a great night. Friday or Saturday night would be a great night to get out with friends. People who you haven't seen in a long time. Get out there. Do your thing. And just relax. Because there's also some things that could happen in the full moon that will make it easier for you to put yourself in a position to get some news about something that maybe, you're missing that one little piece of information in order to not necessarily push forward. There may be a new beginning in love, but it's more about working your magic within your existing circumstances. So if you have an Aries message was all about working their magic. So if you have an Aries somewhere in your world that you're working with professionally or in a love relationship, you're both, in a very intuitive, powerful place right now. So, they'd be the people to hang out with on Friday for sure. So there's other little bits though that are kind of out of character, really, for Aquarius that I'm seeing in this spread. I'm going to go to the professional side. I'm going to tell the professional story first because I think that it may also overlay into other areas as well. So the full moon focus, before I jump there, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, is the 6 of Cups. And I've clarified it with the 5 of Swords. So there's some bittersweet here going on in terms of looking at the past. 6 of Cups is very much about there's a child on this card. So childhood innocence, looking back on childhood memories. It can also be associated with the soulmate card. And then the 5 of Swords is really about mental perspectives, fighting over who's right, empty victories, battles that really go nowhere, that don't really serve any purpose. So this could be like many others, people working out patterns, because the other general theme to June for everyone, the other overlay for all of us, is that there's a lot of planets that are congregating in Cancer, around the solstice, around Father's Day, that sort of thing. So, so this could be looking back on happy times with family, with children, with your own children. And again, maybe just a little bit of bittersweet going on in there about unnecessary battles, unnecessary conflict. So that's the overriding theme. A little bit of nostalgia. So the reason why I'm going to go to the professional is because this is so starkly not Aquarius, and that is the Emperor and the Hierophant. And so with the Hierophant and the Emperor, this suggests issues around power and control. It also suggests a rigidness around the way people feel things should be. So again, we're kind of in that right, who's wrong, kind of who's going to have control, who's going to have power. And so the power difference between these two is this is a more spiritually in tune, more abstract, quiet power. Whereas the Emperor leans more into that, authority and control. So whatever's happening in your professional life may be making you feel a little bit restricted, not as in tune with that Aquarius freedom and liberation and try things differently, think out of the box. There's something about your work environment that you're either, it's kind of like you've made peace with it somehow, but I'll get to that later when we start talking about the Magician again. So now when we go over to the relationship side, we do have the Ace of Cups. So this suggests a new beginning in love. And then we also have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles, again, is kind of a moral high ground kind of place to be. And I don't mean to sound judgy when I even say that, because you could rightfully be in a place where you've figured out proper boundaries in a relationship that as a result of your reflection on what went wrong in the past. So let's go back to the environment in which this is all happening. So there's the magic. But here's the trick. Seven of Swords. So you're the magician, and you're able to work your magic pretty much wherever you go. But are you being honest? Or is there someone not being honest with you? Because the Seven of Swords is theft, betrayal, lies, secrets that are kept for personal gain. So depending on where you fall on the side of this in your environment, because I only see it in the environment, I'm thinking that it's you may be being lied to. But I don't think it's going to get to you if they are. I think that you're still going to be able to maintain the path of something new with new boundaries. And that's part of what this is. there could be a sense, it could be a sense of being creative about that sense of having to fit in to a box somehow. That when your ideas are too outside for the people who are around you, that in your own special brand of things, you can honor those traditions, the more inside the box kind of things, but in your own special way. Uh, Taking stock of the past, where you got it right, where you got it wrong, and finding a new way to work with the limitations of those who may not be as open-minded as you are. Because sometimes that can cause trouble, right? You know? So I'm going to go to the Lenormand deck now because this is where it gets kind of interesting. So we have Rider, Lily, and Road. So Rider on its own is news coming in quickly, or it's rapid travel, or you're launched into a completely fresh situation. Lily is about family, it's about sex, and it can also suggest an older man in this scenario, and that there's a sense of peace about this individual. Roads is the crossroads. This is a path, a decision, making a decision at a fork in the road. Which one are you going to take? So, interesting. So when we pair Rider and Lily together, we get news of rest or news of peace. News from an older man. Then, if we take Roads and we match it with Rider, we get news that's going to affect the decision you make at the fork in the road. So you don't have everything yet. That may be what this is about. So the full moon may bring clarity to this through news that comes from an older man. And ultimately, this decision will bring you peace. And then you'll be free to work your usual Aquarian magic, just like always. Maybe it's been a while since you felt like your old self. So this Friday and Saturday, this weekend, would be the perfect time for you to join your friends and be yourself, and to possibly get insight into a decision that you know you have to make with regards to a love relationship or how you handle yourself in love relationships. So you don't have all the information yet, but you will get it really, really soon. And then you can focus on your family for the remainder of the month. That's when a bunch of planets congregate in Cancer, and so it's going to promote a lot of healing and transformation and a recalibration of where we're going with our families specifically, but also the relationships that feed off of that. There's a really, really, really big underlying theme too of healing. So this information that's coming in is going to give you peace, and it's likely something you've needed to hear for a while. So congratulations, Aquarius. Enjoy your friends this weekend, and we'll see you next time.